What's going on, guys? I might be a little late to the game on this one, but I finally got my hands on a pair of the Icon long nose slip joint pliers, which, let's call it what it is. They're basically a direct copy of the Snap-on LN47 ACF long nose pliers. You know, Snap-on was the first ones to come out with these. They designed them, they made them. They're kind of the first, as far as I understand, kind of triple slip joint plier. They've got what they call a Talon grip, which is a specific crosshatch, very good for pulling. Just a really nice pair of pliers, albeit maybe a little overpriced. And since these guys came out, well, about 2 SEMA shows ago or so, Icon decided to go ahead and release their version, which is only now, a little over a year later, started kind of populating the shelves and getting distributed out there. So I finally got my hands on a pair. Already had a couple pairs of these guys. I got this one as well as the, I guess what is the medium version, or the next smallest pair, the LN46 ACFs. And if you guys want to see a first impressions unboxing video of that, maybe I'll try to remember to link it below, but it's also further back on the channel where I give some thoughts and impressions on these. I will say, after having had these for a number of months now and using them pretty regularly, they are a great pair of pliers. They're good, I mean, great hand tool. I use them regularly. They do things very well, you know, that pliers should be able to do, as well as some things that maybe other pliers don't do as well, you know, with the grips and all that. So I am still happy with the purchase. I am impressed with them. I do still maintain that they are overpriced. Maybe we'll talk about that more in a moment, but anyway, this is more about the Icons than anything. So first things first, you know, here they are. They do have some packaging to them, kind of a hybrid clamshell with some cardboard, which I think is a nice touch. You know, the Snap-ons, I didn't get these off a truck. I had them shipped to my house from Snap-on or from a dealer or distributor. They basically just came in a clear plastic bag, wrapped with a little packing paper, and folded up into a piece of cardboard for a makeshift box. So honestly, I was kind of unimpressed with that, and I said as much in the other video. Not just in that, but what they charged for that shipping and handling. And that's all I'm going to say in this video about that. Although I will put things in perspective. Basically, what Snap-on charges to ship these to a consumer, you could just about buy a pair of these for just that shipping price. So keep that in mind. Now, granted, Harbor Freight does charge for shipping as well, although I think it's only like $7 or $8 versus almost 3 times that amount for Snap-on. So, you know, let's not get off on that old rabbit hole again. But anyway, again, they do come with some packaging, which is a nice touch. Does it add anything to the tool itself as far as usefulness, usability? Not really, but it is a nice touch. I mean, you got your branding, got some basic info about the tool, lifetime warranty brand here, country of origin, barcodes, a couple of your basic Prop 65 warnings, or, you know, whatever it is, will kill you or cause cancer. Here's a warning about not using on live wires. You know, maybe people need to see that. I don't know. But yeah, it's a nice little package, well done. You know, not too much, not too little. Just a single zip tie, and then they pull right out. And if you have any doubt that these are copies, by the way, those fit right in as well. But anyway, nice touch, so give an extra point to Icon for that. As far as the pliers themselves, I mean, there's no doubt these are a copy of these guys. I mean, there's some slight aesthetic or visual differences right off the bat. I could see these dips are just a little shorter, but really not much, maybe 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch shorter. Kind of curious why. Well, I guess I know why, because there is a little bit of a taper there. Although so is there, so yeah, I don't know. Why didn't they just carry that up a little farther? But a little bit different dip. Looks like overall these might be just a little narrower than these guys. So you got a little thinner jaws than the Snap-on, a little thinner handles than the Snap-on. Definitely a little bit of flex in the handle. I'd say more so than the snap-on. So I'll give a point for the snap-on and being a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit more durably built. Do see a little more of a gap here just due to those narrower jaws than here. So when they're parallel, you know, this may hold some thinner material a little better, which we can actually test that. Second pivot position, got that same tip offset. I recently saw a video, somebody was kind of complaining about that, thinking that icon messed up. Well, the snap-ons do it too. It's just nature of design. Really doesn't affect anything, especially if you're using that second pivot. You're not going to have them closed most of the time anyway, at least not tip to tip. And then third position, icons are going to be a little wider in capacity or opening. We'll say as far as fit and finish here, tolerances actually seem a little better on the icon. Now this might be luck of the draw, just randomly picking these off the shelf versus these. You know, they may kind of overlap in both directions. But I know these snap-ons, I mean, I got some play in the tip there. Much more so than these guys do. The tips do line up very nicely though. Nice and even. I don't have any coins to try to pick up, but I don't have any doubt that they would. They seem to match up very nicely. If not even just a little better at the very tip. Seem to close up a little tighter. And then there's a little bit of an overlap here on these tips, whereas these are like perfectly flushed up. So honestly, I got to give another point to the icon. A little better fit. Overall fit and finish, you know, this is a little different, but it's still nice and clean. Now, granted, these are slightly used. These are brand new. But fit and finish, I'd give about a tie on. You know, this one's a little smoother. This one's got a little more texture to it, but still nice and clean. You know, Snap-on's got all this labeling and etching. Kind of a dirty etch, by the way. Not a very clean etch, although I like that Snap-on stamp in the USA. Nice and clean, but this just has icon, laser etched. Nice and clean and simple. A little more branding on the back of this, nothing on the back of this. But I'd give it about a tie for fit and finish. Looking at the crosshatch, pretty much the same length and pattern. Although it looks like the Snap-on is a little more flattened out, like they don't come to as sharp of a point on the checkering or the crosshatch. These come to a much more sharper, aggressive point. And maybe that'll wear off, and maybe some of this has worn off. But this definitely grips my finger a little better than this. See, just gripping some thin material here. I mean, I've never had any trouble pulling anything on these. I mean, these have phenomenal grip to them, just like advertised. Though they don't have much side to side. And even on the smaller, where most of that jaw is engaged, I could still turn this pretty easily. Even like really bearing down on these, I could push that over to the side. So there's really no side to side grip, but lengthwise, I mean, you could pull anything with this. It'd probably hold my weight up if it didn't weigh almost 300 pounds. So, good grip there. Let's try this. You know, again, because of that gap, I'm not really contacting much here. But those sharper teeth actually do have a little bit more of a side-to-side grip. I mean, yeah, you could still get it to move, but it's almost like tearing the material. So I'd actually give a little bit of a point right now for grip. Granted, as these wear in, maybe that changes. Maybe I've worn these a little bit too, just with use. But these do seem to have a little sharper grip to them. So, you know, think what you will of that. Again, overall, fit and finish. They seem to be pretty even as far as open and closing. Like I said, these are a little bit tighter tolerance, but still plenty easy to pick your pivot joints. These are maybe just a little looser. So I'm thinking what else I can really say about these. I mean, aesthetically, geometrically, the differences are so minor as to almost, be inconsequential in my opinion. Fit and finish, again, I give them a tie. A little grippier on these, a little better tolerances. I gotta say, especially like when you factor the price in, I think these Icons, I mean, they're almost edging the Snap-on out just a little bit. And I have this like feeling of wanting almost to apologize on behalf of Snap-on, but maybe it's Snap-on that should be apologizing to me. Again, the ethics and legality of the design or the copy of the design aside, I can't speak to that. You guys do what you want as far as, supporting one over the other. I just so happen to have supported both. And I got to say, I mean, these definitely aren't worth, 3 to 4 times the price of these guys. I can say that unequivocally. And I've said from the beginning, I don't think these should cost $85 to $100. I think they should be more like $45 to $50. And I could say that Icon could almost charge, $45 to $50 for these. And I think people would still buy them. To charge, about a third or almost a quarter of what these guys cost, though, you're getting a lot for your money here. And by the way, both do have a lifetime warranty. I'm not sure how I would even fill this warranty. I don't have a Snap-on truck. I don't know if I could call corporate and get a number for my local truck and track the guy down. These, I got 3 Harbor Freights within 15-20 minute drive of me. 2 more that are about a 45 to 50 minute drive away. Chances are after a while I'll be able to bring these into any one of them and swap them out. No questions asked. These guys, I don't know. Actually, a guy I work with, he has a pair of Snap-on needle nose, the old traditional ones, kind of similar to these. And he broke the tips off of them. He still has them. He hasn't been able to warranty them yet. He doesn't know how to warranty them. So, and I think he's even tried to find like a local driver or something and just hasn't had any luck. So, that's something to consider. Not only are you paying 3 to 4 times the price, but if something does happen to them, what are you going to do after that? Pay 3 or 4 times the price again, just buy a new pair. I will say these are already showing, some obvious wear. I mean, where I've been using them, which is expected. I'm showing a little bit more teeth deformation than I'd like to see for what little I've kind of used these. And maybe these will be the same or worse. I don't know. I'll have to kind of come back with an update after I've used these for a while. But, honestly, just side by side, if I didn't know where these came from or which ones cost them more, say I'm just looking at them from the back here, I'd honestly have to give the advantage to the cheaper pair. And that's kind of sad, I guess. But, maybe that just speaks to, Harbor Freight. They've obviously been reading the room a little bit. They've been making adjustments to their products and their market, based on, need and demand. They're reading the room and they're making changes and growing accordingly. Snap-on, I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon, but I think they are kind of resting on their laurels a little bit, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's any argument that quality has gone down over the years for Snap-on, whereas for tools from Harbor Freight, the quality, if anything, is going up. And that's kind of across the board, power tools, hand tools, and otherwise. I mean, that's not even to speak of like Hercules versus Milwaukee and other brands like that. They're starting to really come into their own there. So, you kind of got to give some credit to Harbor Freight. Maybe they're not as old as Snap-on. Maybe they're not a completely American-based company. It is what it is, but Snap-on can only do what it's doing, I think, for so long, resting on laurels and kind of maintaining old, business and market strategies. And who am I to say anything? I mean, I'm not, they're a Fortune 500 tool company. They've been around. I'm sure they've got much smarter guys than me working for them. I'm just kind of surprised they're not maybe adapting a little bit more than they have been. Get some products into some box stores. Maybe make your trucks a little more accessible. And maybe I've said this before, but why not have a truck that parks somewhere for like the general public, once or twice a month, make an announcement or have a page on your website saying, hey, if you're in this area, this driver is going to be here on this day if you need to warranty a tool or you want to come buy some tools. I bet they would see a significant increase in sales and just interaction with the company, just not having to chase down trucks, not having to be lucky enough to be in a shop where a truck, shows up and you can go out and talk to your rep and get to know them. And trust me, I get it. If I was a mechanic or a machinist and I'm working where a truck shows up every week, every couple of weeks, then yeah, I'd go on the truck. I'd probably finance some tools. I'd warranty some stuff. I'd have much more Snap-on in my toolbox than I do right now. But the fact is that that's not how their business runs. That's not how they market their tools. They don't seem to see a need to do so much. So, they're kind of losing me as a customer, and they're losing a lot of guys, just like me as a customer. And I'll be honest, next time I want a pair of pliers, I'd rather stop on the way home to one of several Harbor Freights and get a pair of something like this than pay 3 or 4 times the cost plus shipping, which is now, almost 5 times the cost, depending, or say 4 times the cost, for basically an equivalent or, maybe not even so equivalent tool. So I don't know. You guys take that for what it is. I'll say first impressions. I'm certainly impressed for $30. Harbor Freight could certainly charge another 10 or 15 bucks on top of what these are costing. Just like Snap-on could easily, knock 20, 30 bucks off the price of these and still be money ahead, in my opinion. But again, what do I know? I'm just a dummy, that uses pliers from time to time. So I guess take that for what it's worth. Hopefully I didn't complain too much about shipping cost like I did in my last video. Where are we at here? Time-wise, a little under 20 minutes still. I guess we can cut it off here. Like I say, at the end of the day, I'd love to support more U.S.-based tool manufacturers. Snap-on, they make a great tool, a quality tool, and they do stand out among many, many other tools. Their wrenches, their screwdrivers, other tools. They are just overpriced, in my opinion, and that's the bottom line. And maybe that has to do with, their marketing practices of only distributing via trucks and drivers, versus having them in thousands or tens of thousands of more locations via big box stores. So I don't know. I'd love to talk to like one of their corporate, honchos and kind of ask them, why don't you guys try to get into some big box stores, get on the shelves? Or why not try to, expand a little bit beyond this very antiquated truck and driver, sales mentality. I don't know. Just some things, it just seems like it would make more sense a slightly different way. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody can correct me or explain to me why I'm wrong. I'd love to learn, but it just seems like such a missed market and a missed opportunity for what's arguably, still a really great American-made, well-established tool company. They do make good products. They have great designs, great materials. They check all the boxes. Unfortunately, one of those boxes is severely, high-priced, if not overpriced, for what you get. Again, if you're not getting, you know, the conveniences of financing, which can sometimes verge on predatory. I'll just mention that quickly, but and you're not getting the convenience of, you know, that show up to your door truck driver, then yeah, their prices really don't make sense for 99% of the population. So, you know, it is what it is. End of the day, if you're on the fence, wondering if these are as good as these, I mean, my first impressions, I'd say go for it. Buy a couple of pairs. Heck, you can get 3 or 4 for the price of one of these. Break one, lose one, give one away, and you still got one left. And the others you could take for warranty, so, or at least the broken one. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I'm going to say on it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I didn't ramble or babble on too much, but you know, what else is new, right? As always, I thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.